All right, so continuing from where we left off this morning, so I'm just going to adjust the tail section. I just realized just by comparing the image reference here, you can see that this section here, right, it becomes a very sharp point. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably model this rectangular piece separately, and then I'll just stick it onto the moving surfaces. This appears to me the pivot point of this elevator. Okay, the pivot point looks like it is right about, let me just press D and then move this back a little bit, right about here. Okay, so that when I rotate this tail section, right, it should move in, up and down like that. That means this triangular piece that I see over in the reference, right, I'm just going to model a triangular piece sitting over here, and then maybe I will just cut a hole over here so that this area here can pivot inside the hole. All right, and then I can also clean off this area and make it a little bit easier to tighten the edges around here. So what I'm going to do right now, go to level 1, and I will delete away these faces here. Okay, so now I got this hole over here, and I'll probably get rid of this face as well. Okay, I'm going to go full screen here so that it's a bit easier for me to see. Right, seems that there's another piece here. Let's see whether I can move this inwards here like that. Alright, so I'll just hide this vertical stabilizer here, and okay, it seems that there's an overlapping vertex over here. Alright, so there's a hole here. This was actually meant to join to the wing, so I'm just going to push this out a little bit more. Same for these. Okay. Alright, so right now it seems that it makes more sense. Yeah, there is to have another edge loop to travel here. And I mistaken this part previously as a three-sided face, so I will cut one edge loop across here. So I'll use the multi-cut, middle cut this section here, then join these two dots together using the connect. And this will give me an extra geometry which will help me to reshape the elevator pivot point. Okay, I'll just put this up slightly like that, and then maybe these two over here, just want to use a scale tool to just line them up and then push them down slightly like that. Alright, so we added another edge loop here so that I can have extra detail. So just now I was almost ready to unhide the fins. So under display, show all. And so basically we need to have a triangular piece that is sticking out from here. So maybe I'll get rid of these faces here as well. And we'll just rebuild this section here. So select this edge all the way to here, double click, and then holding down the shift, and then extrude a section like that. We'll press number 3 and see what it looks like. So definitely we need to move this section over here like that. Alright, so actually we don't really need these sections here already, because this will just obstruct the movement of the tail fin. So not even this face as well. Let's just delete that, so we should have a nice clean opening. Okay, maybe I'll undo, and I just temporarily need to hide these fins here. Press H. Yeah, okay, so there we go. So we don't need these two here, and I just need to clean up this whole section here. So this here looks like a mess, so I'll just clean up all these faces, delete, and extrude out this section and bridge these two here. Okay, I'm going to straighten out this edge from here to here using scale to flatten them. Okay, actually I should continue to select it all the way here like that, then flatten them, then pull it out slightly. Okay, good. Now we have this section that is done, and we are going to pull out this section here so that it follows the vertical stabilizer. So there's another vertex inside here, and I'll just pull that out. Just pull this out like that, and I think we are good. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now the stabilizer is sitting almost flush to the surface here. So that's actually where I need it to be at. Okay, if I press number 3, okay, right now this area here looks a little bit rounded. Okay, that is fine. Okay, there's a big gap over here. We're going to leave the gap open for now because we're going to unhide, Control-Shift-H to unhide the previously hidden item. So I'm going to put a triangular piece that is attached to this section here. Now I don't want to extrude it out from here. So I'm just going to create from a cube. Shift right mouse click, create cube, and I'm going to bring the cube up here and scale this cube down. Okay, the pivot point of this cube looks a bit off. Okay, let me see what's wrong with this. Is it because symmetry is on? Now let me turn it off. Yeah, there you go. So now I can scale this down and put this cube right behind the triangular slot. Right about here, yes. Okay, let's take a look at the reference again, and we can see that this is a very thin piece, and we are actually right at the edge of this section here. So this part here extrudes out slightly. So I'm going to select this section here and then maybe push it out slightly like that. Okay, and then we have this triangular fin-like shape sticking out over here. So I'm going to reshape this cube a bit. Okay, so we know that this is very thin. We just put it right about here. Okay, and this section here, I'm going to extrude it out. And let's see where this part ends in the reference. Okay, ends about halfway. No, actually no, more than halfway. It's about one third from the end of the surface, which is about this point here. Okay, roughly around there. Okay, I think we scaled this a bit too big, so I'm going to slide the bottom vertex and then pull it up like so, and I can pull this over here. And push this over here. We know this part here almost is flush up to the tip here. So that means I have to select this and move it up over here. We're going to insert one central edge loop over here. And manually just grab these and pull it up, the center portion here. And since this is streamlined, I'm going to scale this until they are nice and flat. Okay, so the bottom faces, I don't need the bottom faces because no one will see them. Don't model things which no one can see, so this is good enough. Okay, I need the bottom to be wider now. Let's go to wireframe mode. So I can select this section here and scale it. So basically this piece, I'll just have it sit there. Okay, let's take a look at it at level 1. What does it look like? Compare it to the actual one. So this one is actually a rounded section over here. Something like that. All right, and then these two, I'm going to move them forwards so that they are right, just like that. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the face at the ends and then extrude it outwards. So let's go to wireframe again and go to face selection mode. Let's go inside. So I can select the face, this face here, this face, and extrude it inwards. Okay, the bottom face will delete away. So we have a nice flat section like that. So let's take a look at it in shader mode. Yep, starting to look much better. Okay, so let's take a look at the pictures again, and you can see I really want to see what is right over here. Let me see other pictures. Do we have any detail? Ah, there we go. So you can see this one is nicely covered and it's nice and straight. So that means this edge needs to be much lower like that. Okay. This one I bring it down a bit. Okay, definitely have to add one more edge that runs across here to tighten the harden the edge over there. Okay, I'm trying to select this one and push it out slightly. Alright, so this piece, yes, other piece, so has to be duplicated to the other side as well. So I'm going to press D and then holding down X and snap the vertex right into the global center. Press D again, then duplicate special. So we have another piece that is on the other side. I think this one looks good. Alright, at least the tail section here now looks good. I might need to extrude out another section here, but I really need to add one more edge loop around here. Okay, so this edge loop will run across here and then add a harder edge. So let's do that. Let's go to level 1 for the surface. Okay, I think we need to rescale this engine section down slightly a little bit. Okay, so let's insert our edge loop now. One edge loop right about here, and then if I press number 3, this section here now is much harder, and I can bring these down until they are almost parallel like that. Okay, looking much better. Okay, good. I'm satisfied with this. Okay, cool. I think now I can move on to refining the jet engines. Okay, so let's take a look at the jet engine from reference. The jet engines, we'll take a look from the front side, right? It has a very unique shape. It starts off as a cylindrical shape, and it ends right at where the chord, the beginning of the main root of the wing is. Then it transitions into this shape where the bottom is flat, and then into the jet intakes. And another thing we need to take note is the front. Okay, so you will notice that the jet intakes are not parallel, but they are actually pointed inwards to the center line. So that is one thing that I noticed about the model, and which I tried to do by rotating the nozzles inwards. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to level 1 for the jet nozzles, and we'll try our best to model in the shape. Okay, so I'm gonna hide the main body, and then just focus on getting the shape of the engine to look right. So at this point here, I think I might have reduced the scale a bit too much. So let me just go over to, just need to work on one side because this one is just a duplicate of the other. I'm going to assign it with my modeling material so I can see through it. I can see that my engine is slightly higher than it should be. So I'm going to select the vertices, just bring this down slightly. And then just make sure that the symmetry is off, then I'll just uniformly scale them down. I'm going to try to follow the cross section as much as I can. And also the edge loop of the engine right about here. That's what it looks right. This one needs to go down a bit more. And this section here, it definitely has to go up. As well as this section here. Okay, now the notch of the jet engine. So this one is a little bit challenging to do. So we will have to go and make sure that there's enough subdivisions that we can add. Like this section here is supposed to be here. Okay, just want to make sure that I'm pushing the right vertex. Okay, so sometimes the drawing might not be the most accurate. So you can see that input of the jet intake seems smaller than the one I have. Okay, I think this one needs to push back a little bit more like that. Yeah, then it makes more sense. Yes. Okay. Alright, so I want to take a look at it in solid material mode. So is this solid material? Okay, from the side now it looks okay here. Okay, the top view, let's see that it is positioned correctly. I think this one can move a little bit here like that. Yeah. And this loop here, I can rotate this slightly. Okay, right now I'm looking at the picture. So I can see here it is tilting inwards slightly. So if I were to look at this from the front, yeah, I actually managed to get the tilt to go inwards slightly. But from the top view, I want to see how much the tilt is at this location. So maybe this part here, I need to pull it out a little bit more. So this section here is straighter, so it looks, the tilt looks more obvious. So I press number 3. Okay, so this is the shape that I got. Now, I definitely need to have more subdivisions over at the nozzle here. So I will have to cut or insert some edge loops that spread out around here. So let's take a look at the actual plane itself again. Okay, we can see that this is a very thin piece of metal here that tilts downwards like that, and then this area here is quite rounded, and then it spreads out to this section until it turns back into a cylinder shape again. So in order to create this shape, I might actually just separate the nozzle here. You can see there are very clear panel lines here of the main engine itself. So the main engine actually starts around the beginning over here, I think, right about here. So I'm going to insert one edge loop right about here in the middle, and I'm going to use the circularize tool so that to rearrange all these loops into a circle, this one here. So the tool that I'm going to use is this one, circularize, and this one here as well, circularize, so that They are nice and round. Then I will separate this entire section. Yeah, I'll separate this entire section. This just makes it easier for me to just add more additional edge loops. Okay, without messing around with the cylindrical shape here. Although, yeah, I think this one, yeah, this could work. So I'm going to detach this. I'm going to use the detach tool. Alright, so now should be detached now. Yep, now it's a separate object. It means the other jet engines, right, is now has gone. So just to bring them back, I'm just going to edit duplicate special. Okay, let me undo that because when I do that, right, the center point of this object has changed. So I'm going to hold down to D, press D and release, and hold down the X and snap it into the world center, I think. Is the grid center? What happened to the grid? Let's see. Yeah. Then duplicate special again. Oh, let me get out of the. Oh, okay. The pivot point has been shifted wrongly, so I'm going to bring it back to the center here. Press D to get out and edit duplicate special. I should have the other section there. Same for this one. Press D, and then holding down the X and grabbing the X-axis and then snap in the center. Press D again. Then duplicate special to the other side. All right. So let's fix the top part here. Really flatten it by using scale to flatten this too. So right now we have really flat jet intakes. Okay, and since the resolution is still relatively low, I can grab the vertices and then place them quite straight. Same for these loops. Okay, let me go to the top view and see. I'm going to use scale and just straighten them and then rotate them again. Alright, so you can see the opening here doesn't look very nice. Let's see what does the opening looks like. If I double click this and look to the front, yep, so this area here has to be straight, so it's not. So I'm going to grab these vertices here and use the scale to straighten it. Alright, same thing for this one. Go to the front view and then use the scale to really straighten it. So now I have straight jet intakes. So remember what I said, that the from the front view the jet intakes is actually tilted inwards. So this is what I mean. So it's actually tilted inwards slightly, and in fact I think I should be using this photo as a lineup. This is a very good reference for me to position the jet intakes, because the drawings are not really helping that much. Alright, so now we got our jet intakes lined up, or at least straightened. We can now select the opening like that. You can see from the top here, and you can go to wireframe and you can see, okay, this one is interesting. From the bottom view up, I will guess this one, right, should be straight as well. Okay, that is the bottom section, I believe. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Okay, I think I'll just straighten these first using the scale tool, and then I will realign them again. double click to select these, then go to top view, then I will rotate them here like that. Yes. Yes, nice. Yeah, this one looks much better now. Okay, of course I subdivided it. It is not gonna look so nice because we need to insert more edge loops to tighten the corners. So which is what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna double click and select this edge loop over here and apply a bevel. Then I'll use a very tight bevel, maybe add 2 segments and reduce the fraction. And so we have a nice hard top corner over here. Then we're going to do the same for the bottom here. The reason why I am doing this is so that I can avoid inserting way too many edge loops over to the other side. I'm going to try to fix this first, then I can use the circularize to redistribute the vertices over here. Let's see, if I were to, I'm just going to try this out, see if I extrude a small section, will it tighten? No, it doesn't. Alright, so that means I have to basically insert another group of edge loops here, or basically bevel the edge here, and this one, yeah, this one I'll just use 1 section rather than 2. The bottom here is rounded a little bit, that looks okay. The only thing right now is that the corners here are actually very tight, so there's a very tight corner over here. That will require me to either bevel these two. Okay, let's try beveling this, and this one doesn't look good. Okay, I should chamfer the vertex rather instead. Select these 2 vertices, chamfer the vertex, and now we have a much tighter corner. However, at level 1, this is what it looks like. I need to redo the topology a bit. Let's see, maybe these vertices, just push this out slightly, and then I'll just now I look at the topology, that doesn't look very good, so I will get rid of these. Control delete, and maybe I'll just cut from here to here. Do the same for the other side. So if I subdivide this, yeah, this doesn't appear to be tighter, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to use the knife tool again, multi-cut 2, or cut from here to, actually I'm not do that, it should be from here to here, from here to the edge here, and from here to the edge here. Alright, this should tighten up. Yes, this tighten up a little bit, and I can get rid of this edge loop. Maybe I need to keep the edge loop. Okay, problem is that you can see that it is folding inwards. Let me see whether I can push this out slightly. Yeah, it doesn't want to cooperate, so okay, there has to be a better way. Let me undo that. Okay, that means I might have to insert one more, a very close edge loop here. Let's try that. Let's reduce the fraction. Kind of works, okay, but I still need a very, very tight angle there. Yeah, and then this one is curving inward, which I don't really like. Let me undo that and see what else can I do. At level 1 it looks like this. Okay. So this loop, I probably have to bring it back a little bit. Or maybe I'll just insert one more edge loop right in the center. Yeah, just to hold the shape. Okay, I think I'll just insert a very tight edge loop and see what's the result first for the time being. Yeah, if I insert 3 edge loops around here, let's see. She gave a much tighter. Okay, this could work, right? And then maybe one more around here and here. Yeah, I don't really like to insert too many edge loops that flows across like that. Okay, but I'll definitely need to have all these extras because of the unique shape of this engine cross section. So now this part here, I'm going to try to circularize this. Okay, I'm going to repeat the circularize until it's about so this circularize tool is quite useful. You can use it to redistribute the topology lines. Okay, although the rotation is a bit annoying every time you do that. Okay, everything looks good. Okay, now the bottom part here, the tricky part, which is this section over here. So right over here you can see that there's a very strong flat triangular shape. I'm going to hide the reference. Okay, so taking the reference again, the triangular shape, rotate this slightly like this. Okay, the shape ends right about the center of the wing section here. So using the wing center here, that means the triangular portion starts about here. So select these 3 and scale them close together. So, and at the same time flatten them. So all of these vertices here supposed to be nice and flat like that. Okay, so that we have this flat transition over there, which I think, yeah, without the edge flows, everything still look pretty alright. Okay, I'm gonna show the wing surface control shift H, is it? No. Display control shift H, yeah, but all the items are missing. Display. Okay. Okay, you can see that this section here, we need to push this part here much higher. And maybe this part here as well. And this one definitely. Much better. Okay, I like this. Subdivide this and then it should fit. Okay, let me just assign this with a new color so we can see the different transitions. Okay, looks pretty okay. Only problem is this front part here. This ring section needs to be smaller a little bit. I think eventually I'll get the same number of subdivisions on this cylinder so that we can align them together. Okay, now I can delete the history. Alt Shift D. Alt Shift D. Yeah, delete the history. Okay, looking good. I think that's it. That's all I'll do for this part for today. And I'll continue again probably tomorrow to rework different parts of this model.